Alright, so big news story today, right? This gunman entering into the Discovery Channel's headquarters with a supposed bomb and guns because everyone in the world should die. I wonder who this guy's been involved with. More or less, the last couple times these things have happened in the last year or so, they've been people who have been involved with different things. Like Nidal Hassan was on the Presidential Transitional Task Force, the shooter at Fort Hood. Oh yeah, he's one of the people that made sure that the Bush administration went smoothly into the Obama, Barry Soetoro administration. Then went crazy and shot some people at Fort Hood. And then you had the Pentagon shooter who picked up his guns from a police department before he went out there and shot. And I don't know, several other things. The whole thing surrounding Joe Stack is crazy. I've talked to people who were there investigating it, and they said they didn't believe the official story that went out on mainstream media. There was a guy in Texas who went to court today, and a judge sentenced him to something like 40 years in prison. So he pulls out a razor and just starts slashing at his neck. No shit. Right in front of the judge in the courtroom. Talk about someone who wanted their liberty instead. Liberty or death, right? Crazy, crazy. I don't know what the guy did. I don't know the situation. I just heard it on a news brief on the radio today. If you live in Texas, they now want people to start paying for the 911 services, because even though you're taxed for it on your phone bill, they're having shortfalls in the budget, so they're going to go ahead and make you pay for the 911 calls. So I wonder if that means if you've got a cell phone that's out of minutes, if you can still call 911 on it, because normally even an emergency call will go through even if the phone's dead. No service for you. Must pay. No service for you. It's kind of like the Trans-Texas corridor, where you've already paid all the taxes on your roads through the gasoline taxes, but yet they want to put toll roads on the roads you already paid for. Can everyone say freedom? Damn. And the big news story of the day, the big news story of the day I haven't heard anybody talk about yet. Let's see if somebody else has it up on their site here pretty soon after I say it. Pentagon pulls $1 billion from weapons of mass destruction defense efforts to fund vaccine initiative. Washington. The U.S. Defense Department has shifted more than $1 billion out of its nuclear, biological, and chemical defense programs to underwrite a new White House priority, according to the government and industry officials. The Pentagon's going to give you vaccines to save your life. The planned funding reduction terminates essential CBRN, chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear defense program required to meet high priority service needs, prevent casualties, and protect blah 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 blah. The vaccines have mercury, and the mercury slices through your brain like a hot knife through butter. I mean, seriously, you know, if you like to be lobotomized and stupid, then go ahead and take some more of them. They're mixing in the H1N1 vaccine, which has a live attenuated virus of H1N1 in the regular vaccine this year. Come on, we pretty much kicked the butt out of that one last year. Are you going to come back for another ass whooping? Bring it, New World Order. Because no matter how many times you can try and change the story, redirect funding, I'm still going to be here calling bullshit. Don't take the vaccines. Quit giving them your money. Buy American when you can. Support local mom and pop shops. Tell these fascist corporations to back the hell down. Armed man fatally shot at Tennessee high school. An armed man was fatally shot by deputies August 30th at Blountville, Tennessee high school after he went inside and pointed a gun at the principal's head. I wonder why he would do that. A sheriff said, "There's no doubt in my mind He went there to kill somebody today, the Sullivan County Sheriff said at an August 30th news conference. Hours after the gunfire at Sullivan Central High School, I don't know who, and I don't know why. No students or teachers were hurt, as school was dismissed at 10:30. The sheriff said the 62-year-old gunman confronted a security officer Monday morning after entering the school about 9 a.m. The gunman entered the school with a .380 caliber semi-automatic and a .25 caliber handgun in his back pocket. The sheriff said, after the gunman grabbed the principal and pointed the semi-automatic at her head, a student resource officer pulled her gun on the gunman and moved the principal to safety. The suspect said the student resource officer moved the gunman down the hall and away from the cafeteria to a science pod. When Sullivan County deputies arrived, they ordered the gunman to drop his weapon, and he allegedly pointed it in their direction. He then pointed it back towards the school resource officer, prompting deputies to fire, the sheriff said. Ex-Army analyst from Oklahoma arrested at Minnesota airport. A former U.S. Army analyst from Oklahoma was arrested in Minneapolis, Minnesota while trying to board a one-way flight to China with electronic files containing a restricted Army field manual, authorities said August 27th. Federal prosecutors said the 26-year-old suspect allegedly was carrying multiple data storage devices when he was arrested August 26th at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. The suspect was charged August 26th in Oklahoma City with one count of theft of government property, which carries a maximum sentence of 1 year in prison. The defense attorney said the charge is a misdemeanor. The suspect made his initial appearance in U.S. District Court in St. Paul, Minnesota, August 27th. Crazy. Man charged with threatening to shoot Congressman's staff. Philadelphia man is in federal custody after allegedly threatening to shoot members of Pennsylvania Congresswoman's staff. According to the reports, August 28th, the FBI said the 44-year-old suspect called a Congresswoman's office 25th regarding his lost dentures and complained the Congresswoman has never done anything for him despite always getting his vote. When he did not get the response he wanted, the suspect told the staff member on the phone that he was a former Marine with access to a rifle. He then threatened to get on a bus, stand on the roof across the street, and shoot staff members in the Congresswoman's Philadelphia office. The suspect later called back and spoke with a second staff member and told them he was a patient at area hospital in Philadelphia. When an FBI agent went to interview the suspect at the hospital, he had already been discharged. Hospital officials had expressed concern about his mental state, but weren't able to commit him for a psychiatric evaluation. Interesting. I'm surprised there's not been more people charged with threatening Congress people here in the last year or two. American people are doing good, but some of their rage is sparking off a little bit. Sad, really, since the bankers are doing this on purpose, and people in the government are going along with it, trying to print more money. I think a good question for all of you to ask your Congress people who are getting ready to go through this election phase that's coming up in November. What are you going to do, congressmen or women such and such, to audit the Federal Reserve and to show us the gold? Show me the gold. There's a good possibility the hurricane is going to hit the Carolinas. They've already declared a state of emergency in one part of it, so everybody in Carolina is be on alert. Let's see. I'm not going to throw too many more at you because I'm sure none of you are writing this shit down anyway. But come up with some better stories than I'm putting out there. Till next time, YouTubers and Americans and whoever else watch these videos, I'm out.